The Google engineer who wrote the anti-diversity memo a few days ago, his name is James Damore, and he's been fired. And as I suspected when I wrote my first blog post on this and made my first video blog on this, he's immature. He went to college and graduated in late 2013 going into 2014, then started working for Google in 2014. This is 2017. There's a lesson here for everyone who takes a job anywhere, and it's this: you do not write any kind of email or memo or document on company time using company products that refers to employees you work with in an insulting way. In fact, you shouldn't even do that in any case that has to do with you inserting your political views into a communications device that's owned by the firm you work with. This is an issue of employment and employment policy. If you want to make a political statement, you do it off company time. People have recited laws that have to do with free speech, but they don't apply to what Mr. Damore did at Google. The simple reason is this: a company is not your place to take your personal issues and shoot them out to the world through that organization's vessel of communication, because then they become attached to your point of view, whatever that is, and they don't want that. They didn't hire you for that. If they hired you to be spokesperson, guess what? You would have been spokesperson. Mr. Damore would have been spokesperson. That is not the situation here. So for James to say he's going to file suit, oh, that's absolutely youthful expression of lack of knowledge. It's called immaturity. The tragic part of all this is there's no one among you who agrees with him, who understands that what he did was not right. It's not what an employee does, which means all of you are capable of doing it and may very well be doing it. If you want to have your political views issued, start your own company. No one is saying that you can't work for a political campaign on your off hours, or vote any kind of way you want, or state your ideas. But you do not use company time to write memos and documents that are insulting to people you work with. That is just plain stupid. There's no other way to describe that. And so I was 1,000% correct, if you like 10,000% correct, when I said that his rant was immature. Some of you have tried to attach pseudoscience to your argument as opposed to just saying, oh, hey, I back what he did. Oh no, it's got to be some sort of, in your mind, highfalutin, high idea that applies when in point of fact it doesn't. One person wrote an account of James and said, well, 5 things you ought to know, talking about how he was a chess champion. Not one of the examples of things we ought to know had anything to do with what kind of friends James had, or if he had a girlfriend, or what kind of relationships with women he had, which is the number one question we should all ask. Now, what he did, basically, like that, just that quickly, shine a bright light on an enormous social problem that exists before us, and it is the plight of the poorly socialized, upset person who happens to be white, male, and in their 20s. At this part of society. How we got here, I could speculate. International division of labor, break up with the two-parent family, the internet, all of the above. And as well as the idea that because that person is white and male, they automatically should be granted a better opportunity than someone who is of color. Or the idea that because that person who is white and male in their 20s may be acculturated in such a way that they're not exposed to black folks who are as intelligent as they are, but are exposed to an inordinate number of images of blacks who are rappers, or as someone on Twitter wrote, hood rats, which I said, hey, that's a code word, a racist code word, all right? And it is. Because of that inordinate dumping of images like that on television and entertainment, that white male person in their 20s subconsciously believes that that's how black people are, period. And so therefore, when they see someone in their work environment, in the back of their mind, that idea comes forward. And why not? Because their brains have been contaminated with that thought for decades. So we deal with that. We have to deal with the negative results of that media contamination. And that's what it is. It's a media contamination. But I digress. It doesn't mean that he has the right to take the action that he did. It was basic. It was plain out stupid. It really was. And as I said to Lauren Southern on Twitter, what part of stupid do you not get? This is not something you do or encourage. You don't encourage your kids to do it. You don't do it. You encourage your friends to do it. If you want that kind of freedom, start your own company. He's in Silicon Valley. He probably can find some like-minded VC somewhere if he looks hard enough and he has the right idea. He's got a better shot at getting that money than most of us because he's white, middle-aged, and tech. Stay tuned.